Hello guys. I do hope I find you well. I do hope you've had a good day. I do hope you are having a good day, and I hope you do have a good morning, depending on where you are watching us from, depending on what time you're going to watch this video. Guys, I'm so excited to be coming to you as we continue with what I decided to call the Care Work Myth series, whereby we are talking about some of the things that really a lot of people were not experiencing care, or a lot of people we have never done care work do believe. So yesterday we touched on our myth number one. Our myth number one, we touched on it yesterday, and you did so well, guys. Thank you so much for all your continued support. Thank you so much for your love above everything, guys. You guys are amazing. You guys, the amount of support you show us, guys, it's humbling for us. Continue to share, continue to invite your friends to this page, to this platform. Continue as well, guys, to talk about all these things that we are talking. We are conversation starters. We just come to you and we share our views and our thoughts. And guys, speaking of views and thoughts, disclaimer, guys, when I come here, I do not represent any organization. I don't represent any company whatsoever. All the things that I do say here are my thoughts, my views, and my feelings, guys. So this is not to represent the thoughts of any organization or to represent the feelings of any organization whatsoever. So I do come here and I speak in my own personal capacity. If you are watching us for the first time, or if you're joining us today for the first time, I'm Florence, and here we talk about life in the diaspora, life abroad. And if you haven't watched any of our videos, if you haven't been on any of our platforms, guys, I am a caregiver in the UK. I came to the country 2 years ago, and so far it's been going on great. It's been going on great. So today, one of the myths that we want to talk about briefly, guys, and get people thinking, is the fact that people will say, care work, you need experience for it. You cannot survive, or you cannot progress in care, or you cannot handle care work in the diaspora or abroad if you've no caregiving experience. One of the things that I realized as I was on this journey, or as I continue on this journey, this caregiving journey, is the fact that even in this country, this is one of those jobs where someone can actually come straight from high school and they join care work with no prior experience whatsoever. They just join care work. It's one of those start-up jobs that you can actually go into. So this, I think, is a testimony enough to say, even without experience, you can actually go into caregiving. You can actually go into care work and succeed and grow. Grow to be all the things that we spoke about yesterday. If you haven't watched yesterday's video, guys, make it a point. Go and watch yesterday's video. Then you will be able to understand why we are continuing to build on this subject around care as a profession. It was until I came over. I always love to share this story when I'm at work, when I interact with a lot of people who are not African, who are not Zimbabwean. I love to share the fact that in Zimbabwe, particularly, I don't know about other countries. I can't speak of other countries, but in Zimbabwe, care work is not treated as a profession. When we want to be honest, where we come from, family looks after family. So if somebody is elderly, if somebody is not feeling well, or if somebody has got a challenge health-wise and they need support or they need care, your family looks after you. But it's unlike here abroad, where actually companies, businesses are into the business of looking after people, into the business of offering care and support to people who need it, people that are vulnerable. So guys, as I come here today, I'm here to demystify the fact that people would say you need experience for this job. I am testimony. I always love to share this, to say I went to school, I studied tertiary education and did something totally different. I used to do engineering when I was back home. Of course, prior to coming, obviously during COVID and after COVID and into coming, that's when I started warming up to the idea of taking up care work as a profession. And obviously, what I thought when I was still back home and what I saw when I came here are totally different things, two totally different things. And I think I will have to do another video where I will maybe explain some of the things, some of the differences. But what I believe is if you're human, if you're African, or if any human being, you have been in circumstances where you have had to care for somebody, be it a family member, be it a friend, be it a stranger altogether. If you are a human being, at some point you've had to care for someone. So that is experience. It only depends on how you look at it. It only depends on how you choose then to express yourself in an interview. Suppose you've been invited to an interview, then you've got no paid experience whatsoever. How then will you translate your maybe voluntary experience, or caring for a family member, or caring for a friend? How then will you present that in an interview? Is what can get you a job, is what can lend you maybe a certificate of sponsorship to come abroad or to go abroad. So you'll find that if you've done any applications, or if you're doing any applications, they will say if you have any paid experience, if you have any voluntary experience, or personal experience, personal care experience. So it's how you would then articulate yourself, or articulate this experience, or how you explain this experience can lend you a job. Someone will ask a question to say, then Flo, what are you saying? What do you then say? Okay, I have this, and this is what it takes for me to succeed in care. I think above everything, beyond qualification and experience, for you to succeed in care, or for you to survive care, what it takes is character. Above everything, character will make you survive care. What do I mean by character? Character, I think for me, guys, this is me. And when I do come here and share these experiences and share my thoughts, it doesn't mean I know everything. It doesn't mean those are the answers to everything. But for me, when I talk about character in care, definitely it just goes back to the 6 C's of care. What are the six C's of care? Maybe someone is listening to this video for the first time and they want to know. This is where we talk about competence, where we talk about being caring, where we talk about compassion, where we talk about commitment, where we talk about communication and courage. So those are the 6 C's of care. For as long as you have at least 2 or 3 of those within you, then you can survive in care. That's what I do believe. I'll read some of the things that I wrote as my strengths that I believe maybe if I'm asked what makes me successful, or what makes me look forward to doing care every day, these are some of the things that stood out for me, and these are some of the things that I do continue to explain or border around whenever I'm faced a question to say, Flo, why do you think this job is for you, or why do you think you're still enjoying this job, or what makes you enjoy this job every day? So these are some of the qualities that stand out for me. Qualities that I do feel I have is I'm somebody who is motivated, self-motivated. I hype myself, I motivate myself. Every day I look forward to doing this. I'm somebody who is adaptable. What do I mean by I'm adaptable? It means I can actually go into a team or go into a role, be coached, be mentored, and actually end up fitting in within a team. I go on to say I'm somebody who pays attention to detail. Why do I emphasize on that? Guys, we're just talking about character here. Where I'm saying you've got absolutely no experience in care, you've never done care work, will you survive in care? Will care be for you? So these are some of the strengths that I believe I have, and these strengths have actually, taken me places, are making me survive every day in care, are making me enjoy care every day. And I would want to say I do pay attention to detail. Why do I feel that is very important? It's because you're working with people, and these are vulnerable people. So these people, they each and every one of them, depending on in the setup that you work, will be having their own care plan. And this care plan has got a lot of things from medication to social to therapy, things like that, what they like, what they don't like, their diet, and things like that. So you need to be somebody who is very particular, somebody who pays attention to detail, because if you miss a particular thing, then you can actually, mess up everything. it can be fatal. It can even be so detrimental to all the work that people have been doing with that person, be it therapy, be it rehabilitation, and everything like that, be it even medical recovery. So being somebody who is able to pay attention to detail is very key in care. So if you feel you are somebody who is like that, then you know care work is for you, regardless of the fact that you've worked in care before or you've not worked in care before. I love to say this: before I fully committed to wanting to do care in the UK, I was in the engineering field. I loved it. I still love it. I do miss it sometimes. But I love to say this, to say I found a new love in care. And I'm enjoying it every day. That's why I talk about it. That's why I come here and I share with all of you. A big, big shout out to you, everyone, for your support, for your love, for all the things that you continue to do for this platform. We do appreciate you. Continue to share this information. Continue to share what we stand for and what we believe on this platform. To say we talk about life in the diaspora, life in the UK, and I'm so sorry, I'm so biased towards care because that's the visa I came to the UK with. That's the opportunity I got and I embraced. So that's why I love to talk about care work. I know we do strive to bring other things, other facets of life in the diaspora. In the future, we are going to be bringing you different things altogether. So one of the things that I do feel are quite important or are part and parcel of my strength, I said I'm somebody who is empathetic, somebody who is able to feel for other people. I do remember in this one interview, I was asked to say, what do you understand by person-centered care? For me, this was a very deep question, deep and hard, and this is how I approached the question. This is to say, fine, it's in as much as an organization, you've got your policies and everything. But when it comes to person-centered care, it's that bespoke care which is quite specific to that individual that you're offering care to. And for me, it's when you focus more on the person that you're delivering care to or that you're offering support to more than the organization that you represent. Their needs are bespoke, their needs are quite particular and individualistic to them as an individual. To say, okay, what is it that you want us to do for you? And above everything, the way I answered it, I said, above everything, it's when you go and treat somebody the very same way you would want to be treated. I wouldn't want to be treated in a one-size-fits-all manner. I wouldn't want to be treated in a blanket form of care. I would want people to tend to my needs as an individual, my needs as Florence. So that's how I answered that question, and I still do remember. I remember that question and how I answered it. And because after that interview, I was like, where was all that coming from? Why was I saying all those things? So it actually stands out for me even today. This has been like a few years, but then, yeah. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your support, for your love. I do love and appreciate you. And thank you so much for all the things that you continue to do behind the scenes to support what we do, to support sharing of information and encouragement. We want this information to reach even people that are still in high school so that they begin to think about the career choices that they make. Remember, guys, yesterday we were talking about CAREWORK as a gateway into some of these prestigious roles, some of these big roles, some of these top jobs. So in as much as is that, also today we are talking about to say your prior experience sometimes is not as relevant. What you need to show is character, your strengths, your qualities that can take you far. Of course, I'm not disregarding the fact that you need training. If you do have a training, that can be a plus. But above everything, sometimes you can have all the training, but when you do lack the character, you may not succeed, you may not go far in that career. Because you're dealing with people, character is very important. Composure, compassion, being somebody who is very caring, being somebody who is very patient is very, very important. And one of the things that I want to highlight as well is we say, well, you can actually go into care work without prior experience, is the fact that these organizations are bound by regulatory bodies. They require them to train you with regards to the work that they do. Because it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. There's different training relevant to different organizations, relevant to different companies. So one of the things that that is mandatory in care work is for you to be trained with regards to the nature of work that you do for a specific organization. So you could be saying, Flo, but Flo, what if I come, or Flo, I came, I'm on independent visa, but I want to join care work. What is it that I can do? You only need to apply. You need to show character. You need to show your strengths and your ability to fit in a team, your ability to adjust and adapt within that role. And then the rest of what's required, you will be trained. You will be trained through some organizations will train you through online learning, e-learning. Some organizations, they have face-to-face learning. Some organizations, they will go to an extent where nearly almost all organizations are also bound to say you will be shadowed or you shadow someone, whereby you are actually learning on the job and there's somebody who is actually mentoring you. This can take weeks, this can take days, this can take months, depending on the nature of organization that you work for. So we are actually just encouraging one another to say, it doesn't matter, you're independent, it doesn't matter, you are, maybe it's your child, they are now 18 or they are now 19 in the UK, they want to find that entry level job. Do not stop them and say you can't go into care, you'll not survive. Probably they have what it takes. It doesn't matter to say you've never done it before. Allow them, if they choose that path, allow them to explore that path. It's a beautiful, beautiful profession. It's a very rewarding career path. Hear it from me. Every day I'm faced with choices. I've got a background that I already have. I could decide to say I want to go back to engineering. Like I said, guys, it's a rewarding career. Care is a rewarding career. So allow your children, allow your dependents, allow whoever. You could be back home in Zimbabwe, you could be back home in Africa. Care is still an option. It doesn't matter whether you've got experience or not. Yes, somebody's saying in the comments, your character plays a pivotal role. Absolutely. Sometimes it's things very like I use somebody who is teachable. I use somebody who is able to say, okay, I want to learn. Okay, show me how it's done. It takes character for someone to say that, to say, I don't know much about this one. Can you show me? Or I've never used this equipment. Can you show me how it's done? Or I think I need more training. Or I think I need more shadowing. I'm not there yet. I'm not as confident. Because part and parcel of what is required or what they are required to do with you is to make sure by the time that they say you are now competent or you now can work on your own, is you're confident enough to be able to do certain tasks. So it's one of the things that you need to focus on. It's one of the things that you have to, there's nothing wrong in saying, well, I'm not yet confident. I still need more time to be working with somebody. I still need more training, or I need extra coaching. That will take you far. That will go an extra mile in what you do, in your adaptability in this role. A lot of people have been reaching out to me. A lot of people have got very successful stories whereby they just came and it was first time experience in care. I will talk about some of the myths. Well, I'll just give you a brief, maybe, I don't know what I can call it, but a brief snippet into it. Some people would be having that mentality whereby they are thinking, well, it's all personal care that you come and do in care. There's different things, there's different roles that you do in care. So it's not all just about personal care. Because most people do ask me, do you think I'll be able to do this? I don't think I'll cope. There is more to care work than just personal care. I will continue, as I said, guys, I've decided to make it a series whereby we are just demystifying some of the things that people believe us as caregivers or us as overseas care workers do. Why I decided to really go much on it as a series is because we want to bring awareness, we want to bring education to our communities and even to our children. We want people to have an understanding. And above everything, one of the things that we want or we wish to do, or what I wish as an individual, is that one day we will go back to a country or to Zimbabwe where actually care work is taken seriously. Care work is taken as a profession. It's some of the things that we need to start thinking about, to say, okay, what will happen when I grow older? because times are changing, things are changing. Our children are focusing on their own thing, they're doing their own thing. Who will look after us? Times have changed. We may have, I always love to be very objective and realistic to say, okay, I'm over here. Who is going to look after my mother? Who is going to look after my father? So it's something that we need to be asking one another so that, with time and everything, like I love to say, wherever you are, study the system. When you study the system, you will take all the things that you've learned in that role, in that space, you take it back home, you start to implement those things. And already we've actually started seeing people. I love to mention people that came here ages ago, people that came here 20 years ago, because these are the very same people who are actually giving us these opportunities. These are the very same people who are running these companies here in the UK. And we do hope that one day those people will grow enough, to have care companies that are run worldwide, world over. And as far as Zimbabwe is also to say, well, that I'm retiring back in Zimbabwe because such and such care company, which has been running for so long, I'm taking a package with them. That's our hope and wish. That's our desire. Well, personally, that's my desire because I know I've seen companies that are being run by our brothers and sisters that are being run so well. I've seen a lot of people come through immigrant-owned companies. So let's continue to share these things. Let's continue to talk about these things. Let's continue to educate our communities. Let's continue to educate one another. Because if we are going to grow, if we are going to embrace as a nation, as a community, if we're going to embrace care work as a job, for us Africans in Africa, for us Zimbabweans in Zimbabwe, definitely we cannot avoid addressing these myths and beliefs. So the more we talk about it, the more everyone will embrace it, guys. That's the only reason why I thought, well, I'll make it serious whereby I'll come and try and talk on some of the things that we've always believed, but we know probably the majority of people where we come from believe that. So today I was just touching on care work is for everyone. It can be for you. And you could be sitting there or you could be watching me and saying that I don't have experience. I would have loved to go to the UK. I would have loved to move to Canada, but I don't have experience. Everybody has got experience because we do look after one another. We do look after our family members. We do look after our friends. Above everything, we do have the character. We are kind. We are caring. We are committed. We are courageous. We are compassionate. Those are the basics that will guide you. Above everything, you're somebody who is adaptable. You're somebody who is teachable. You're somebody who is patient. Some of the qualities as well is, I've gone on to say, well, you should be able to communicate effectively. Are you an active listener? That's very, very important. It's very, very important. So it's the little things really. When we are talking about care interviews, going into care, we shouldn't really be looking for far-fetched things, deeper things, or it's not rocket science. It's the basics and it's the things that we do every day. It's the things, it's the characteristics that we portray every day. It's the qualities that we build every day. It's the qualities that we continue to portray in our day-to-day life. So sometimes, well, you could be looking at yourself and say, do I have it? Just look at the compliments that you get throughout the day. Oh, you're so kind. Oh, you're so patient. You had to wait that long for this. If ever you've been complimented in that way, then you can actually survive care. And some of these qualities, sometimes they don't come out unless you're really tested. And what a better way of testing if you're patient, if you're compassionate, if you're caring, than to be in a situation where you have to care for somebody, where you have to look after somebody. How then do you present yourself? How then will you portray? How then do you bring about your qualities? So it's very, very important, guys. So I think I've said enough. I've said what I wanted to come here and say. To say we are demystifying all the things that we think, all the things that we hear every day about care work. To say you need experience, you need You need education, you need such and such. If you can just read and write, you're good to go. If you are just somebody who has got, good character, if you are somebody who can fulfill the 6 C's of care that we spoke about, then no, it's for you. And just go for it. And when you are in that interview, try to bring about your strengths. Try to bring about those soft skills, those qualities, those inbuilt qualities about you, about your character, and you're good to go. And at the back of your mind, bear in mind the fact that you will be trained. It's not like you will just be thrown in the deep end. You will be trained, you will be supported, you will be offered resources. Trust me, the amount of support that you get, you end up just doing fine. Because you could say, well, I need experience. Yes, we had done our attachments back home, we had done a bit of voluntary. But when we came here, it was a whole different ballgame altogether, where you begin to see equipment in use, where you begin to, use computers and tablets for logging in. We never used to do those things back home. We just used to pen and paper. But then here you are, your care plans are on the phone, on an application, everything is on the computer. And you're supposed to be doing all that. You're supposed to be logging in there, logging out there. So there's a lot that we have had to learn, whereby you just go like, fine, I did my Red Cross when I was back home, fine, I did my attachment, but this is a whole different ballgame. So what I'm saying is, do not disqualify yourself by saying, I don't have background experience. Because after all, when you go abroad, it's a whole different experience altogether. Some of the experiences that we will be having could be irrelevant, could be null and void. So it's all about mindset. And by talking and demystifying things, we are just trying to fix and address our mindset around care work. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for always supporting and loving us. And this is bye from me. I'll see you in our next video. Take care and be blessed. Bye.